Singing today? You're singing today?
Skip it. श्री श्री किशोर किशोरी की जय। श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय। श्री श्री गौर निताई की जय। कि बजयो जयो गौरा चंदे आरती के शोभा की बजा जानवी तट बने जगमान लोभा जानवी तट बने जगमान लो कि बदाखीन नीताई चांद बामे गदाधार दाखी निकटे अद्वैता श्री वास छत्र धारा निकटे अद्वैता श्री वास छत्र बोशी आछे गौराचान रत्न सिंहासने बोशी आरती करे ना ब्रह्मा आदिदेव गाने आरती करे ना ब्रह्मा आदिदेव गाने बनर हरे आदि कोरे कमर डुलाए संजय मुकुंद बासु घोष आदि गाय संजय मुकुंद बासु घोष आदि गाय शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताल शिव शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताल मधुर मृदंगा बाजे परम रसाल मधुर शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे निताई गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताई गौरा हरि बोल निताई गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल बहु कोटि चंद्र दीनी वदन उज्ज्वला गल देसे बनमाला कोरे झलमाला गल देसे बनमाला कोरे झलमाला शिव शिवा शुक नारद प्रेम गद गादा शिव भक्ति विनोद देखे गौरारा संपदा भक्ति विनोद देखे गौरारा संपदा शिव जयो जयो गौरा चांदे आरती के शोभा शिव जयो जानवी तटवाने जगमान लोभा जानवी तटवाने जगमान लोभा गौरंगे आरती शोभा जग जान मान लोभा गौरंगे आरती के शोभा जग जान मान लोभा गौरंगे आरती के शोभा जग जान मान लोभा गौरंगे जग जन मान लोभा जग जन मान लोभा जग जन मान लोभा जग जन मान लोभा निताई गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताई गौरा हरि बोल निताई गौरा हरि बोल नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामीते नामिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Govind Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai 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 Radha Raman Hari Govind Jai Jai Radha Raman Hari Govind Jai Jai Govind Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Govind Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Raman Hari Govind Jai Jai Radha Raman Hari Govind Jai Jai Govind Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Govind Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Raman Hari Govind Jai Jai Radha Raman Radha Raman Hari Govind Jai Jai Radha Raman Govind Jai Jai Govind Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Govind Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Raman Hari Govind Jai Jai Radha. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram. Gaur Nityananda bol, Hari bol, Hari bol. Gaur Nityananda bol, Hari bol, Hari bol. 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 Gaur Nityananda bol, Hari bol, Hari bol. Gaur Nityananda bol, Hari bol, Hari bol. Gaur Nityananda bol, Hari bol, Hari bol. 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 Gaur Nityananda bol, Hari bol, Hari bol. Gaur Nityananda bol, Hari bol, Hari bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Kishore Kishori, Jai Kishore Kishori, Jai Kishore Kishori, Jai Kishore Kishori, Jai Kishore Shri Jaya Kishore Kishori, Jaya Kishore Kishori, Jaya Kishore Kishori, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jaya Jaya Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Ashtotara Shata Shishimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Ashtotara Shata Shishimad His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिव शादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की श्री वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की श्री मजपुर नवद्वीप धाम की श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की गंगा माजी जमुना माई की भक्ति देवी श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की their most beautiful lordship, Shishi Kishore Kishori Ki, Paramakaruna, their most merciful lordship, Sri Sri Gauranitai Ki, their most merciful lordship, Sri Jagannath Sri Baladev Shrimati Subhadra Maharani Ki, Sri Sudarshan Chakra Ki, Sri Harinam Sankirtan Jagya Ki, Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to Shishi Guru and Shigauranga.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Praladadaine. Hiranyakashipu Raksha. शीलताङ्कारकाराय हितो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा भये नरसिंहा हृदये नरसिंहा नरसिंहमते शरणं प्रपदे तव करकमलवरेण अद्भुतशृङ्गार दलिता हिरण्यकशिपो तनुभृङ्गा केशवद्विता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल नरसिम्हा भगवान की जय प्रहलाद महाराज की जय गौर प्रेमानंद हरि हरि
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री श्री किशोर किशोरी भगवान की जय। जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा मानी की जय। गौर निताय की जय। हरे कृष्णा। On behalf of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, we welcome you all to the Sunday Feast program at Sri Sri Kishore Kishori Temple. Thank you so much. So, today is a very special day. As you all know, today is the Mother's Day. So, Haribo! So, we pray and, from our universal mother, Srimati Radharani, we pray that every mother here, advances in their devotional service and does their duty to make their kids also like that. So we will chant one round of Hare Krishna for all the mothers here. Okay? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So wishing all mothers a happy Mother's Day. Also, we have today's Sunday feast has been sponsored by Santosh Soma and Rekha Soma. So for their daughter's birthday, Duty, she's right here. So please extend all your blessings to her. We'll again chant for her also. So one more time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you so much. Also, as you all know, we are preparing for, we have 30 days left for our grand festival for the 50th anniversary of Shri Shri Kishore Kishori here in Chicago. So we have lots and lots of services to do. We will have a small, a presentation at the end of the talk. So please stay back so we can introduce you to what we are planning to do, and also definitely, we'll request all of you to participate wholeheartedly in this event. It's a very special thing. We spent 50 years of service here at Shri Shri Kishore Kishori Temple. So today's talk, a very special person. Before that, is there anybody who's come for the first time? Any first timers in the temple? Okay, they have come for the first time. So we have Krishna Sundar Prabhu here. He can actually give you a small orientation of the temple, but after the talk at 6:30, we'll take you to the Prasadam hall and he will talk about it. So whoever is new, and if you're shy to raise your hands, don't worry, he can take care of you. So today we have a very special guest. We have Her Grace Devaki Mataji. She has come from Germany. She's a very special guest, and her talks are very inspiring. She has served in various capacities for over 20 years and has in later years engaged in creating festivals and various meetings for devotees to listen and glorify Krishna. She started her pioneer preaching in the former Soviet Union. You can understand, Soviet Union was not a very conducive place to preach, and she has done the preaching over there. For the last 11 years, she lives as a traveling preacher, traveling intensely in Nepal, Bangladesh, and Ukraine. And she is the vice president in Dhaka Temple and member of GBC Committee for Devotee Care. So her topic today is "Envy will destroy" is an obstacle for our devotional service. So I would like everybody to very loudly welcome her with a big and loud Hari Bol. Hari Bol! We're very fortunate to have you, Mataji. So yes. So she's also having some home programs in the northwest suburbs. One is on Monday evening and also on Tuesday evening. So the details can be, if you once you want to know, you can come here. The address and everything is posted on the emails. So if you need more details, please do talk to me. So she will be sitting here in the Vyasasan. So please, everybody, can you please come a little closer and please put your phones on silent. If you have kids, you can take them to the basement. There is a Sunday school program going on there. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Gyantamandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshunmalitam Dina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manopisam Sabiram Yanubhuttale Swayam Upakadamayam Danati Swavadantikam Namam Vishnupada Kashapista Vuttale Shimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Govani Pachayini Nivashesha Shanyavari Pasatara Shatarini Vanchakapa Trivasha Kripa Sindhivevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shivasadi Go Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So to begin with, let me express my joy that I have the opportunity to visit you once again here in Chicago. I actually came once before. That's about 5 years ago, I think. I think it was 2018. And I fondly remember that visit. So pandemic, I couldn't come. So now I have again an opportunity to be here. So thank you so much for receiving me, for allowing me to share a few little thoughts and insights today. So as we heard already the announcement, the topic for today is envy, our main obstruction within relationships. So we will discover how envy manifests towards seniors, towards equals, towards juniors, and we will realize how envy is actually like the Hiranyakashipu within. We just recently had Lord Nrsingadev's appearance. So actually these leelas, they are not simply meant to be amazing pastimes, but actually they're very relevant for us. Because Hiranyakashipu, we can understand him as the embodiment of envy and false ego. And I think we all have to struggle with these demons within. And one interesting thing is in the 5th canto, there is a verse in the word for word translation. It says there, Kalaha, the envious, and then Prabhupada puts in brackets, almost everyone. Prabhupada always has a special sense of humor, and he knows how to make the point, because envy we know to be a rather nasty quality. And we like to pretend that only all other people have this envy, but not me, right? Very often we think, yes, people are so envious of me, but I don't have that, right? So that's why Prabhupada says, almost everyone has envy. So that means most likely it does include ourselves too, right? And let us also make this point before we start, that this whole discussion is meant to detect the envy within our hearts. It is not meant to detect the envy within other people's hearts, right? Because if we use this discussion to point the finger at others and say, oh yes, I always knew they must be envious. So what does that indicate if we do this? Huh? That we are envious, exactly. So let us not allow our envy to manifest in such a gross way, right? Yeah, so let us remember, I have to get some water here. Let us remember that the purpose of this whole discussion is to detect the envy in our heart. That we want to be a little introspective and reflect and see where we stand. Because envy is very, very subtle. And very easily we don't even recognize it. It often goes on undetectedly, we don't recognize. And very easily we can maintain these envious patterns of behaviors for a long time. And then we cannot really get the benefit which the holy name carries, and we definitely will not be able to enter the spiritual world. Because in the spiritual world there is no envy. There is absence of envy. So if we want to go there one day, we have to do some internal work to uproot these envious tendencies. So let us also understand, how is envy coming about? So whenever sense gratification is the goal in life, then automatically envy and competition enters. So wherever there is that desire for sense gratification, envy immediately will be there. Because then we try to establish, that we are the supreme enjoyer, supreme controller. That's that subtle sense gratification we are hankering for. And then the envy manifests that we think, oh, maybe this person has something which we don't have. Or even if they're subordinate, we try and use that relationship to establish our supremacy. So it is directly connected with the desire for sense gratification. And also, I like to understand envy as a certain condition of the heart. Very often we use the word, towards somebody who has something which we don't have. And then, we are envious. But interestingly, we will discover this in a minute. The envy is a state of heart. It's a consciousness. And it comes out in all relationships, even with subordinates, definitely with equals, and of course also with seniors. So it's kind of a little broader and a little deeper understanding of envy, that it is a state of heart. So I would like to discuss with you today one verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam. The verse and the purport very nicely explains how this envy manifests towards seniors, equals, and juniors. And yes, sometimes devotees, they have shared with me that this session was almost a bit of a heart surgery to them. Yes, so be ready for a little heart surgery. Yes, because sometimes people share, oh my God, I realize I have all the versions of envy towards seniors, equals, juniors. It's me. Right? So, and then at least we know what to work on. Right? So, this is from Canto 4, chapter 8, verse 34. And the chapter is called Dhruva Maharaj Leaves Home. We will not tell that story now because we don't have so much time. So let me just chant once through the Sanskrit. Gunadikam mudam lipset anukusham gunadamat maitim samanat anvichen natapher abhibhuyate. So the translation is as follows. Every man, and here man meaning human, not man in opposition to woman, every man should act like this. When he meets a person more qualified than himself, he should be very pleased. When he meets someone less qualified than himself, he should be compassionate towards him. And when he meets someone equal to himself, he should make friendship with him. In this way, one is never affected by the threefold miseries of this material world. So that is already an interesting statement, that if we just learn to act in a non-envious way, then we will never be affected by the threefold miseries of this material world. Wow, that sounds promising, doesn't it? Yes. So now please be attentive, because in the purport, Prabhupada explains more the envious and non-envious behavior. And we want to, collect the different items, the different aspects of the envious and non-envious behavior towards seniors equals juniors. And depending on how much time we have, we can be a little interactive, or if the time is too short, I'm just going to have to give the answers myself. So Prabhupada's purport is as follows. Generally, when we find someone more qualified than ourselves, we become envious of him. So Prabhupada uses that term envy in a sense, that we are envious of somebody who has something which we don't have. When we find someone less qualified, we deride him. And when we find someone equal, we become very proud of our activities. These are the causes of all material tribulations. Here comes that statement again, that this envy is the root cause of all troubles. The great sage Narada therefore advised that a devotee should act perfectly. Instead of being envious of a more qualified man, one should be jolly to receive him. Instead of being oppressive to a less qualified man, one should be compassionate towards him, just to raise him to the proper standard. And when one meets an equal, instead of being proud of one's own activities before him, one should treat him as a friend. One should also have compassion for the people in general who are suffering due to forgetfulness of Krishna. And very often the last sentence of Prabhupada's purports, they one more time hit the nail on the head. So now Prabhupada says, these important functions will make one happy within this material world. So one more time, we come across this point that if we can just act perfectly, non-enviously, we can actually be happy, even in this material world. Just say, don't we always say we can't be happy in this material world? But here Prabhupada says we can be happy. So it seems to be some contradiction there. Well, it is only a seeming contradiction, because we can say if we are truly non-envious, then we are already within our mind in the spiritual world. Because as we mentioned, in the spiritual world there is no envy. Why? Because there is no desire for sense gratification. Absolutely none. All the inhabitants in the spiritual world, they derive so much bliss from giving pleasure to the Lord that their own sense gratification seems to be a boring waste of time. No interest. That's the mood in the spiritual world. So, and because there is absolutely no trace of the desire for sense enjoyment, therefore there is no envy. And that we only find in the spiritual world, actually. Yes. So that's why, in one sense, a person who is truly non-envious is already within his mind in the spiritual world. Right? Because that's the beauty of the process of bhakti, that the process and the goal are the same. So exactly the same activities which we are doing here now in Chicago, we will be doing also in Goloka Vrindavan. Here we are glorifying the Lord, we are chanting His glories, we like to hear about His glories, His pastimes, we like to feed Him, we bathe Him, we dress Him, we make so many different flower decorations for Him. So exactly the same activities are also going on in the spiritual world. So if a person is free from the desire to enjoy and is fully absorbed in serving the Lord in all different ways and glorifying Him, then we are already in the spiritual world. And therefore, such a person can be happy even here in Chicago. Yes. So now, let us collect the different aspects of the envious behavior towards seniors. We start with the envious behavior and then the non-envious behavior. So maybe some of you remember what was the non-envious behavior? What did Prabhupada say? How do we receive a senior if we are not envious? Anybody remembers? Huh? How do we receive a senior person when we are free from envy? We are happy, we are jolly to receive him. So, in other words, the envious behavior would be that we are not so jolly to receive him, right? Yes. We may ask, oh, nice Prabhu, nice to see you. How long are you staying? Oh, 3 days. Okay, great. You know, and we may be hoping, oh, thank God, after 3 days he's going again. So I have the scene to myself here, right? That's the envious behavior. And what else do we do towards a senior when we are envious? What else do we do? Any suggestions from your side? Huh? We are not only not so jolly to receive him, but what do? We do much more than that. Huh? Yes, we're criticizing, we're fault finding, we're talking badly behind his back to try and diminish his importance. Right? Oh yeah, we're pretty good at that. Right? Yes. And what else do we do? How else do we diminish his importance? Being dismissive, meaning we ignore him, right? We just don't give him any attention. We pretend he's nobody, not worth giving any attention to. Yes, yes. That's also a pretty common way to how our envy manifests when there is a more qualified person. We somehow want to reduce his position, right? Yes. Yes, this criticizing and fault finding is a pretty strong tendency. We're all pretty good at that, right? And interestingly, our previous Acharya, Sridhar Swami, he was making this point. He said, whether it is true or not, talking about the faults of a Vaishnava means blasphemy, even if the person has that fault. You know? Yes, but just the fact that we have this desire to talk about it actually shows that we are envious. Let us imagine a practical example. Let us imagine a traveling preacher visits our community. So, and then he's giving a class, and then one of our friends says to us, "Oh, that was a nice class, wasn't it?" And then we say, "Yeah, it was all right, but it was not so Shastric. He didn't quote so many verses." Right? So even if it is true that he didn't quote so many verses, but just the fact that we feel a desire, an urge to make this statement, if we are honest, looking in our heart, we have to admit there is some envy there. And that's why we try to find something to reduce his importance. Or maybe in other words, we say, if I had given the class, I would have given so many Shastric references, right? So we try to establish our own superiority there, you know? So important to understand that even if it is true what we are observing, but still just the fact that we express it shows envy. And we may very nicely cover it up and say, well, what's wrong? You know, I'm just sharing with my friend my experience of the class. What's wrong with that? Can't I say the truth? Freedom of speech, what's happening? You know, can't I say? But no, just the fact that we want to make this statement shows we are envious. Yes. It's rather subtle. And we may have done these things so many times and never even realized that there is envy behind it. Right? Yes. Yeah, that's why I like to discuss these topics, just so we become a little more conscious. Because Prabhupada was saying, before becoming Krishna conscious, we have to first become conscious. Yes. And so often we are just so unconscious, unconsciously floating through our day, through our life, saying things, doing things without even reflecting, why we say it, why we do it, what effect it has on others around us. Yeah, so we first have to become conscious. And by hearing about these topics, this wakes us up from our spiritual coma and we become conscious. So let us have a quick look at the non-envious behavior towards seniors. We just discussed the envious behavior, non-envious behavior. We mentioned already one. Prabhupada said we are jolly to receive the person, right? Really deeply from the heart, not just with an artificial plastic smile, but deeply from the heart. We are happy and joyful. And how else do we associate with a senior when we are non-envious? What do we do? Huh? We serve. Yes. We offer service, and what else? Inquire. Exactly. Tadvidi pranipatina pariprashnena sevaya. So, pariprashna, humble inquiry, sevaya, service. So this is not only towards Guru, but actually towards any more experienced devotee. This is how we take advantage of that person's presence. That through our humble service, we put ourselves in the right frame of mind to hear from the person in humility. And the more we hear from a person, the more we feel inspired to serve. So this inquiry and serving, they enhance each other. The more we serve, the more we want to hear and inquire, And the more we hear and inquire, the more we want to serve, and we want to hear and serve and hear and serve like that. Yes. Very important way to associate. That's how we squeeze some nectar out of a more experienced person. Maybe you also noticed that these days people, rather than inquiring, they love to talk about themselves. You ever notice that? People love talking about themselves, what they all been doing and what projects they're working on, and it's just me, talking about themselves. You know? Yes. So of course behind that there is some pride there, you know. And actually towards a more senior person, it would be inappropriate to talk about ourselves. Only if that person asks us, so what are you doing? What kind of service are you doing? So then we can humbly answer. But just to talk about ourselves, it is inappropriate and actually uncultured. It's against Vaishnava etiquette. Because behind it, in a subtle way, there may be that desire to show off. You know, what we all been doing, all our achievements, you know. So this is not the way how we are meant to associate with a more experienced person, you know, just to try and impress them with all our activities or something, you know. Yeah, so it's good to know these little things because, yeah, here in the Western world, you know, we're pretty far away from Vaishnava etiquette and culture, and and because the whole materialistic propaganda is surrounding us and bombarding us, and of course, material life, everybody is boasting about themselves and showing off, and that's the path to success. You know, the more expert we are in showing off and advertising ourselves, you know, the more successful we are considered to be. And these days, over internet, Facebook, any fool can become world famous, you know, just by writing some crazy things. The more crazy the things are you put on Facebook, the more clicks and likes you get. So, yeah, any fool can become world famous overnight, you know. So, but as devotees, we don't want to boost and feed our false egos, but we want to dissolve and subdue them, subdue the false ego, you know. So it's 180 degrees going against modern materialistic life, you know, Krishna consciousness. Yeah. So let us move on. The envious behavior towards juniors. Anybody envious behavior? No compassion. What else? What did Prabhupada say in the purport? What's the envious behavior towards juniors? What do? We deride them. We make fun out of them. We are oppressive. We talk in a condescending way. You know, we talk down on them. Or we make a joke. We have a good laugh on the person's expense. Right? Yes. Not very nice. You know, if we want to have a good laugh, we should make a joke about ourselves, but not about others, you know, in a down-putting way, you know. Yeah, so what else do we do? What else do we do with a less experienced person when we are envious? There's a couple more things. We ignore them in a sense that we don't really want them to come up, right? We kind of want them to come up, but definitely not higher than me, right? I'm here, you are there. and you better stay in your place. Right? Yes. Actually, to really desire to uplift a person and make him more glorious and more successful than we are, that really requires non-envy. You know? But as a rule, if there's envy in the heart, we want to make sure that we stay in our superior position. And if another person has a talent which we may not have, then we may even feel threatened. You know, we feel threatened in our superiority. And we somehow find some ways to keep the person down. Right? Make some politics against him or whatever, you know. Yes. Actually, I also observed that sometimes it's not so easy for us to delegate a task to another person. Yes. Because good delegation means that we follow up. We ask, oh, how are you doing? Do you need some help? Do you need some manpower? Do you need some money? Do you need some good advice? How is everything going? But very often it's difficult for us to do this. And we have this mood of either you do it or I do it. And if you do it, okay, you do it. Good luck. And we don't follow up. And we don't want, maybe, that this person becomes more successful than when we would have done it, you know. So therefore, we definitely don't want to assist him. So it's either me or him. Yes. And behind that is also envy, you know. Yes. That, yeah, maybe we are even hoping that the person will fail, will not be so successful, so that we can say, oh, just see, I knew I should have done it, but you really wanted to do it, okay, but I knew you can't do it, so I should have done it myself, you know? Yes, but behind this is envy, really, you know? Because rather than helping the other person to become more successful than when we would have done it, you know, we don't want to offer any assistance and hope that he will not be successful, you know. Yes, there is one more thing which we do when we are envious towards a subordinate. Sometimes even towards children this comes out too. Maybe just to speed up the process, I'll say it myself. If we, Hare Krishna, believe it or not, I live without a mobile phone. I travel the whole world without a phone. This is blissful life, I tell you. Don't boost my false ego, you know. Of course, I have a laptop. I have to communicate with people. But these phones would drive me nuts, you know. Oh, my God. Such a distraction. Yes, so I'm very happy without it. Anyway, so one more envious way of dealing with subordinates or even children. Yes, but how does it manifest? Controlling over them? Not listening? Yes, it's all true, but I'm looking for something else. If we overly, heavily, and constantly chastise and correct a person, you know, when we all the time, you know, come down on them and, you know, push them and pick on them, yeah. Sometimes, unfortunately, we have to, we are observing these things within ourselves or in our communities and our dealings, you know. Yeah, that overly, heavily, overly, constantly chastising people and correcting them all the time. Even with children, sometimes we can observe this, also, of course, in the secular world, that sometimes, in the evenings, especially when the tired mothers, working mothers, picking up their kids from the daycare center, and then they're, chastising them, and the poor child hasn't seen the mother all day, and then they chastise and scream at them, and the poor kid doesn't even know what it's all about. But yeah, there's so much frustration and anger and envy in the heart, and then the poor child cops it, yes. Yeah, so we have to be very careful with these things. It can traumatize a child, yes. And ultimately it's our own frustration there, which we just let go like this, Yeah, so now what's the non-envious behavior towards juniors? We encourage, we empower, inspire, empathy. Now comes the compassion, right? We compassionately, affectionately reach out. We want to uplift them. We want them to be successful. We want them to grow. We want them to be more glorious than we are. That's true non-envy, I remember once hearing a lecture about this, and the speaker was demonstrating this on the Vyasa-san. Like when you uplift somebody, then you also go up, right? But when you push somebody down, then you also go down, right? Good little image to remember, If we actually are really uplifting to others, then we also actually become uplifted. We also rise. But if we try and keep people down, then we keep ourselves down too, Yes. Yeah, so that's the non-envious way of acting towards subordinates, that we are compassionate, affectionately uplift them. And we can say a non-envious person really knows how to connect with anybody and everybody for their ultimate benefit. Srila Prabhupada was the perfect example of that. He knew how to connect with a little child, with a hippie or a drunkard on the park bench, with a scientist, with some religious person. No matter who the person was, Prabhupada knew how to connect with them and act for their ultimate benefit, that they were getting some upliftment through Prabhupada's presence and exchange. And Prabhupada, sometimes he was so heavy, chastising people, calling them fools and rascals. But Prabhupada could speak like that because he was 1,000% non-envious, And people could feel that. And therefore, as a rule, people did not take offense, even if Prabhupada was calling them fools and rascals, mudhas, asses, But yeah, they did not take offense because they could feel Prabhupada's well-wishing mood, that he wanted actually their very best, that he was acting as their dear, most well-wishing friend. So we have to be very careful that we don't imitate this. Because when we call people fools and rascals and mudhas, because we are not free from envy, very easily there is some arrogance and pride mixed in. Right? Yes. Yes. Hare Krishna. Yes. Actually, in this regard, there's a nice story when Prabhupada was in Australia. And every morning he was going on a morning walk. And then one day, it was around 6:30, he was driving back in the car to the temple coming from his morning walk. And one of Prabhupada's disciples who was with him in the car, he was saying to Prabhupada, "Oh, look, Srila Prabhupada, all these mudhas going to work." Because in the city and the Western world at 6:30, people are already rushing to work or the traffic starts, So this devotee was saying, "Look, Prabhupada, these mudhas going to work." So then Prabhupada responded. He was saying, "Yes, how can we save them?" And this devotee who was making this comment, he noticed, oh, Prabhupada is in a different mood than me. He had a bit of arrogance there, thinking himself to be better. Oh, look at these mudhas. Thank God I'm not one of them. But Prabhupada, how can we save them? And when he turned to Prabhupada, he actually saw that Prabhupada had a tear running down his cheek. So his heart was full of compassion. How can we save them? Yeah, so we have to be careful that we don't imitate Prabhupada, because we are not non-envious. And Prabhupada was sometimes saying, "I'm an old man, I can say these things." But of course, the age was not the reason why Prabhupada could say these things. No, of course, Prabhupada wouldn't have said, "I am non-envious, that's why I can say these things." Prabhupada would have never said that. So therefore, he was just warning his disciples, don't imitate. I'm an old man, I can say these things, but you young fellows, you can't. But actually, the real reason behind it is that we are not non-envious, right? So now, envious behavior towards equals. How does that manifest? Sorry? Competition. Very true. What was said in the purport? What do we do? Huh? Boasting. Yes. Prabhupada said we are proud of our own activities. In other words, we are chanting our own glories. Right? What we've all been doing and all our big successes and all our big expertise and. So in other words, amongst equals who are envious, there is this mood, okay, we are equals, but actually I'm a little better. And then we try and prove that, right? And we try and impress the other person, with our big achievements. So there comes the competition in, And we can just imagine two traveling preachers meeting. So, and then one tells the other, in the name of sharing, I'm just sharing with my friend. What's wrong with that? But no, there's something else there. So we try and impress the person. Oh, guess what? I was in London at the Rath Yatra, and imagine I was leading the kirtan. Here's the YouTube film. You want to see it? Have a look at that. Look. And then the parade stopped in the park, big tent. I was giving the talk in front of hundreds and thousands of people. Want to have a look? Here, YouTube. Check this out. I'll send you the link. You can watch it. And so then we go on and on and on, and then in the end we ask, and what about you, Prabhu? What have you been doing? And the other person by then, okay, Prabhu, you are so great. I'm nothing. I haven't been doing anything like that. You are fantastic. I'm nobody. So, and then we we're successful in establishing ourselves in our superior position, right? Yeah, these things are going on, you know. And yeah, often these things we don't even detect. We think, well, I'm just cheering with my friend. You know, what's wrong with that? But no, the envy is vibrating along there in our chanting, you know. Yeah, so that's the envious behavior. Competition. We chant our own glories. We are proud of our own activities. We love talking about ourselves, you know, and we are not even so interested in what the other person is doing. So now, what's the non-envious behavior amongst equals? There is also a kind of competition going on, but very different nature. They're glorifying each other. Actually, out of Vaishnav humility, they both treat each other as a superior. They both think, actually, I'm less experienced, I'm less advanced, the other person is more advanced. And therefore, they push each other forward, right? Prabhu, you give the class, I want to hear from you. Or you lead the kirtan, I want to join your chanting. You know, so like that, they push each other forward. That's the competition when people are non-envious. And that's exactly the mood in the spiritual world also. It is described that actually the gopis, they feel more pleasure, more bliss by pushing the other gopis towards Krishna. Yes. And seeing them give Krishna pleasure. Right? This may almost be unimaginable for us, right? Because we here in the material world, we like to push ourselves forward and we think, oh, I want to be there with Krishna, you know? But no, in the spiritual world, they derive more pleasure pushing the other person forward. Yes. So if we want to go there one day, we have to develop that mood. Otherwise, we will just not be allowed to enter. Yes, so that's the non-envious way amongst equals. They actually treat each other like seniors. They want to serve each other. They inquire from each other. And they very intimately, they share things. So Prabhupada was also saying in the purport that they are making friendships. So friendship, we can say, is also there towards seniors or juniors. But the friendship amongst equals has a very special flavor, right? Because there's a very intimate sharing, very intimate. That, for example, one person says, oh, Prabhu, you've been a brahmachari for 35 years. What's your secret? Tell me. How do you do it? And the other one says, oh, Prabhu, you've been distributing Prabhupada's books for 35 years. So what's your secret? Tell me. So in a very intimate way, they're sharing. And this can only take place amongst equals. You cannot share so intimately with senior or with junior, but only with equal. And only if we are non-envious. Right? Yes. Yes. So now my question to you, which relationship is most purifying? With seniors, equals, or juniors? Yeah, no, the majority of you here said equals, and yes, that's the answer. Because in the association with equals, the most pinching and biting in form of envy from the most hidden corners of the heart come to the surface. Yes. Because when we deal with seniors, we can very nicely say, yes, I'm a humble servant, you know, and we hope that some glory of that senior person is splashing over to us. Oh, look, it's always me and Guru Maharaj in the picture there. I'm always right next to him. Just see. And because he's so special and I'm next to him, that's why I'm so special. Right? And it's also very easy to surround ourselves with juniors who are looking up to us, and we can say, oh yes, I'm their servant. But amongst equals, that's where we really show where we stand. That's where we show our true color. Whether we are humble servant or whether we try and establish ourselves as superior. Right? Yes. So the equal association, most purifying indeed. And we may have that experience, two equally qualified cooks cooking lunch for Guru Maharaj. This can be an intense experience. If it's one expert and a helper, no problem. But two experts, very easily the competition enters. Oh, who knows better what Guru Maharaj likes? And no, he changed his diet. No, he can't eat this. And yes, last time he did. And. So I guess it's 6:30. I don't know. Shall we finish or shall we give a few minutes for questions? Yes, since it is a very practical topic. Do we have any questions?
3 questions.
We'll start with you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mother Devaki Prabhu. It's so wonderful to have you here. I ask a very quick question. Taken as a fact that, most of us will be afflicted by envy, being practical about it, how we can have, or what type of tips or guidance can you give to deal with that and to be able to navigate with that
Okay.
situation in a civilized way and with Vaishnava etiquette?
Okay. Good question. Actually, by the way, this whole topic of envy I am discussing in one of the books I published in all details. It's called Sheltering Relationships, and it's available out there at the book table. Let me use the opportunity to do a little bit of advertisement. And there's a few other really interesting topics. One book is called The False Ego, Our Constant Companion and Troublemaker. Yes. So that's another Hiranyakashipu within. So, and in both of these books, I am giving 5 steps which are very practical and which really work. I'm applying them myself, and I can tell you they work. But it is some internal work we have to be willing to perform. So, step number 1, we have to hear about the topic. That's what we are doing here. By going through this whole topic, we realize, how this envy comes towards seniors equals juniors. We may have never even thought about it. And now we realize, my God, this is me. All 3 relationships, it's me. So hearing is the first step. Then after hearing, hopefully, second step will be desiring to do something about it. That we realize, my God, I have to do something. If I want to make progress, if I want to ever go to the spiritual world, I have to do some internal work, right? So it's all a question of desire. So then, step number 3, we have to be introspective and honest, reflecting. This has to be like our second nature, that we are always reflecting and introspecting and honestly looking in our heart. What is my motive? Why I'm saying this? Why I'm doing this? Without this introspection and reflection, we practically cannot make advancement. Yes. We can always sweep things under the carpet. See, the process of bhakti is a very deep internal process. It's all about transforming the heart, and it requires a lot of internal work. I often feel Prabhupada tricked us. He said, just chant and be happy. Chant, dance, take prasad. So simple. Yeah, it sounds so simple. But then as we practice the process, we realize, not so simple. I actually have to do some internal work if I want to chant and dance and be happy, not only a few years, but a whole life long. So introspection and honesty, very important thing. So then comes step number 4. We catch ourselves doing the wrong thing. So that is already progress. Even though we do the wrong thing, but at least we realize, here we go again. I couldn't help myself. I had to make the nasty comment about this person just to reduce his importance and or I had to lash out and chastise overly heavily there and so on. So we catch ourselves doing the wrong thing. That's progress, because for so many years we were doing the wrong thing, but we never realized. So at least now we realize. So now, my question to you, what's step number 5 after catching ourselves doing the wrong thing? Huh? Well, she says doing the right thing. If it was just so easy, but it's not, We cannot tell ourselves so many times, I'm just not going to do it anymore, and 5 minutes later we're going to repeat it. Yes. This is so deep-rooted, No, what do we do? Huh? Being more conscious. What else? Correcting? No. Huh? Repent. We are getting into the right way. And how do we repent? By crying out to Krishna, Lord Nrsingadev. Inviting Lord Nrsingadev to do the heart surgery with his sharp long nails. Lord Nrsingadev prepares the heart so that we can one day approach Radha Krishna. Yes. We first have to invite Lord Nrsingadev. See, because envy, false ego is so deep-rooted, we out of our own strength, we can't free ourselves from this. We have to invite the Lord. It's like Hiranyakashipu, like a demon. Kali Yuga demon devotee in one body. So we have to call out, cry out to Krishna and beg him to enter our heart and perform the heart surgery. So and if we do these last 3 steps, being introspective and honest, catching ourselves doing the wrong thing, crying out to Krishna, being introspective and honest, catching ourselves doing the wrong thing, crying out to Krishna, then sooner or later we come to the 6th step. And that's, we catch ourselves doing the right thing. Yes, it really works. We will meet some daily situation and we will think, 2 weeks before, I would have reacted differently. I would have gotten irritated. I would have made a nasty comment. I would have defended myself or whatever it may be. But now I can just let it go by. I don't have to respond. I don't get provoked, And then we realize by Krishna's mercy, gradually, we can transform these envious patterns of behaviors. Yes, but it's constant internal work. Constantly, every day, we will realize Krishna is throwing some situations in front of us, and usually we do exactly the wrong thing, and we don't even realize. Prabhu, you are the boss here. Tell me, shall I finish or shall we continue or what?
We do have a announcement and then the prasadam. So
Okay.
I think, if we can, if anybody has personal questions, they can come and.
What we do is, I will be at the book table So if you want to connect personally, ask some questions, check out the books. There are 4 books waiting for you with good topics. So please come and visit me there at the book table. And also tomorrow we have a program on the false ego, our constant companion and troublemaker. Don't ask me where. And the day after we have a program deepening our relationship with the Holy Name, all about chanting. Yes, so I hope to see some of you again on these home programs. Okay, thank you so much for your kind attention. Srila Prabhupada ki. Samaveda Bhaktivinoda ki. Gaura Premanandi. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. So, thank you so much, Mataji, for a very practical topic. She will also be outside signing the books. If you want to, please go and look at the books. Can you please wait for 5 minutes because we have Subal Prabhu who is going to announce something about the 50th anniversary. So please, please wait for 5 minutes.
Balaram Prabhu. Hare Krishna, everybody. Thank you so much. Again, we are gratitude to have Mother Devaki Prabhu here. It's wonderful. So, make it very short. We are making an announcement to keep talking about this because this is a very important celebration. It's a milestone in our temple. 50 years usually is described as golden, right? We have the golden jubilee. Usually that is a royal tradition that you celebrate a golden jubilee that is, 50 years is considered golden. So we're celebrating the 50 years of Shishikishore Kishori blessing the city of Chicago as the presiding deities of the city of Chicago. So it's a very, very wonderful and important event in this temple. And you are the servants, you are the devotees of Kishore Kishori, and we want to make sure that you have all the information you need to be able to glorify and participate together in glorifying and celebrating this wonderful milestone. So, in short, this festival has very important 4 purposes. The first one is to, just as Mother Devaki Prabhu was explaining, we have the opportunity to serve the wonderful devotees that throughout the 50 years have contributed to build this community and to worship the Lord with so much devotion. This temple have a long history and have so many devotees that have been involved. So we inviting many of them, senior devotees, and we're going to have the opportunity to serve these devotees and to hear from them. So we want to keep you informed and, keep you connected to this opportunity that we're going to have. So that's the first one. The second one is we're going to recapture the history of this temple. It's a great legacy that we're part of, and we want to actually, become absorbed and understanding. It's our legacy, it's our temple, it's our deities. So we want to be very much connected to that. The next one is to be engaged in service. What an opportunity to serve. We're going to be celebrating for 4 days this wonderful milestone. And there are going to be so many opportunities for service. So in this regard, we want to also encourage all of you to come forward. We're going to have, right now, we have all these beautiful kids. Raise your hand, whoever is going to be. These kids they're going to be taking names. If you like, we have time for that. But every Sunday, we're going to be making an announcement to invite you to volunteer, to find out how can you help, how can you be engaged in service. So there's many, many, many opportunities and many things we're going to do. And so from being helpful in the kitchen to hosting devotees in your home, all the senior devotees, and serve them, to pick people in the airport, to participate in the Harinams, to receive people. I mean, so many opportunities. So you can find out in more details as you start to get the information. And the last one is I forgot. Sorry. But anyway, you got that. So many wonderful opportunities. I'm gonna give the microphone to my co. Isai is good. Actually, he's very. He speaks very nicely, so I always like to hear him. Come on.
So, so no doubt, this is a very, very important festival for ISKCON Chicago. But amongst the many things that we like to do is we look for an opportunity to do something together. So that's all. That's the essence of this festival: to come together and participate and do something. Because the meaning of festival, the Sanskrit meaning of festival, is utsav. Ut means to remove and sava means worry. So utsav basically means removal of worry. And that's what happens in the festival. When you come in the festival, you leave your worry behind and you participate so that you can become happy. So that's the whole mood behind this festival. But putting together a festival like this requires a lot of resources, volunteers. So we encourage all of you to come and participate. This is your festival. So we encourage you. And if you have your friends, family, relatives who would want to come and participate, please invite them also. It's going to be a wonderful 4 days. As Subal mentioned, we will get to hear so much about the history behind not only this temple, the deities, Shishi Kishore Kishori, and also the interaction of devotees who lived here at that time. So it's going to be jam-packed, lot of information to purify us also, because it is topic in relationship to Shishi Kishore Kishori and the devotees of Shishi Kishore Kishori, who are, some are serving here and some are serving different parts of the world. So we are trying to get them together here in the 4 days for this event. So we encourage all of you to please come, and we're going to be making this announcement every week, every Sunday. But if you would like to participate, you can register your name. You can. This information is all posted on our website, so please visit our website for more information. And if you have any questions, you can come and talk to any one of us, and we can guide you and give you more information about this festival. Thank you.
I remember the last one. I remember. Well, actually, I checked it here. We're going to engage the people, the local people. We're going to engage the people of Rogers Park to participate in this great festival too, because we're going to block the street and have a very nice festival outside with all kinds of wonderful entertainment that will also highlight some of the wonderful kirtaniers. Especially, we're inviting the ISKCON very famous Madhava Prabhu to be here, and so it's going to be very wonderful. So please sign your name with these guys. They're going to be running at you, so wave at them. Please serve in some way. Some can be serving, some can, you can give donations. We have our devotees also collecting donations that can help us, pay for this program. So in any way you can actually do, it would be very wonderful. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. We will go upstairs for the prasadam. And those who are new, they can see Krishna Sundar Prabhu is right here. He can give you a small orientation of what we do here. Okay, Hare Krishna.
You should learn how to play. I want to learn, but I don't know when. Okay. Wait. I'll build it. Should I start? Vishnupadaya Krishnaprasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirmishesha Sunyavadi Pasyatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Kishore Kishori Jaya Kishore Kishori Jaya Kishore Kishori Jaya Kishore Kishori Goranitai 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 Jaya Goranitai Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Nitya Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitya Gora Hari Bol First you call me duty and then you call me Chuck. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nice. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Jaya Kishore Kishore 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 Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Bhaladeva Jaya Subhadra Jagannatha Jaya Bhaladeva Jaya Subhadra Jagannatha Jaya Bhaladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Shiva Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada, Shila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Shila Prabhupada. Jaya. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Shila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol. Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol. Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol. Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol.